Hello, hello, hello. Today has been a freaking day. And I know I am not by myself when I say that. And so it is late. It is 9:30 on the East Coast, but we have got to deal with the things. We must deal with the things. Whew, I'm not going to be here long, but it felt really important to be able to have a brief conversation with my folks to set out where we are today as it relates to the Supreme Court. Because for many of us who've been in this voting rights fight, and for those of us who haven't been in the fight but care deeply about voting, this may feel like a time when everything has been stripped away and you're asking yourself, one, what happened? But I'm going to push you to ask a better question, and that is, what do we do now? And I'm going to start with what happened real quick, but I'm going to tell you, this is really going to be a conversation more so about what we do now. And so if you haven't already, I want to encourage you to go to sistersleadsistersvote.org. If also encourage you to subscribe to our newsletter, because I'm going to be putting out a lot of stuff around this. This redistricting stuff has gotten out of control. And I think too many people, yes, we need to understand what happened. And as an attorney, I'm going to give you kind of a brief overview. I totally encourage you to listen to your favorite legal scholars on this as well. But for me, I'm going to show up more as an organizer. Today, I'm going to show up more as an advocate. Today, I'm going to be talking about what we as people can do, what we as voters can do. And let me be honest, what we as Black women need to do and what we're going to do. Because we are not just going to let this happen to us. We're not just going to roll over and be like, this is it. This is not it. This is just the next thing in the fight that we know we need to have. So let me start with this. Let's be really clear. The Supreme Court of the United States has gutted the Voting Rights Act, plain and simple. What has happened today is a clear shot across the bow, a direct attack on our ability to elect leaders who represent us. And at Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote, one thing that we are clearly about is electing Black women and lifting up the political voices of Black women. And the Supreme Court today just made that harder to do. Basically, what happened is that the rules today were changed. For 40 years, Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act gave communities, especially Black communities, a legal tool to challenge these redistricting maps that were purposely drawn to dilute our voice and our representation. They would pack us into one district or crack us into 5, so that our votes were either packed so tightly together that we were all forced to have one representative, or so spread apart that we had no representation at all. And there's no doubt that this caused irreparable harm to Black voters. There's not even a question about that. The problem is that now the outcomes are less important. So what is happening, and I'm going to keep this part pretty clean, is that now, in order for Black voters, in order to show discrimination under Section 2, you have to show that the state was intentionally harmful, that was their intent. So no longer is it just about the history, the long history that we have of discrimination, specifically across the South. No longer is it just us looking at the impact or the outcomes of what this has. So in other words, it is discriminatory because we are facing discriminatory outcomes. Those two things by themselves are not as important. Now we also have to show a third thing, which is that the state was intentionally discriminating against a group of people. And we already know how hard that is. Okay, so that's what has happened. You should definitely reach out to your favorite legal scholars. Mine, I love Janae Nelson at League of Defense at the Legal Defense Fund. So definitely encourage you to check her out. Brennan Center, Advancement Project, some of my favorites. All of those people will give you a total deep dive on the decision. What Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote is going to do is we're going to tell you how we can show up about Black women. Because at the end of the day, this is about Black women. This has a unique impact on Black women. We are the most reliable voters in the American democracy. We show up in primaries and runoffs and off-year elections. And boy, do we need to show up this time. We show up when and also we are at a time when we are seeing Black women candidates running and winning at a peak. So I want to remind you, this is also happening and impacting us. So let's first talk about our voters. Let's be clear. As voters, we can still vote. Yes, they have tried to engineer it so that our vote counts less, but we still have the ability to vote. Second, as candidates depend on these fair district configurations to build viable paths to office. It doesn't mean that we can't run. And third, as organizers, now the court has basically opened up an invitation for state legislatures to use partisan gerrymander as a cover for racial vote dilution. And we have to be smarter than that. Here's what I want to remind you. We have been here before, and because we have been here before, we know exactly what to do. We saw this in 1980. The Supreme Court made an almost identical move, limiting the Voting Rights Act to only cases of intentional discrimination. Civil rights advocates, we organized, we lobbied, we built coalition, and in 1982, Congress reversed the court's decision and restored the law. It has been done before. There is a pathway forward. And surprise, surprise, guess what's going on this year? There's an election this year, which means that we can do something about this. Who we put in Congress matters. Who we elect to the United States Senate matters. These people are running now. Many of our states are still in primary elections. So we get the chance to choose who we want to send to represent us. And these are the questions that we need to be equipped to answer right now. So I told you this was not going to just be about what happened. This is going to be about what we can do. So in 1982, we changed the law. What do we have to do? Well, first and foremost, stay informed and help us inform others. When you get this information, whether you're seeing this video live or whether you're watching this on replay, share this information. Share this information with others. Go to our YouTube. Go to our go to our website and share our blog post. Share our news that we just posted. Share the newsletter if you're on our newsletter list. Let people know that there is a way forward, and it starts with them being educated. And use this next 48 hours to talk to your community about what this means. Not what it means in terms of legal terms, but what does it mean for us? Listen, it's very difficult to determine intention. Thank you for that. And I'm going to say, how do they determine it? It's one of the toughest tests. And that question right there, they didn't give us a lot of information on, but that's why we just need to deal with what can we do and what's in our control. So first thing, stay informed. That's the number one thing. The second thing is, this is where the states do matter. The federal law has been weakened, but state level voting rights laws and state courts can still offer some protections. We got to know who's in charge of our state legislatures. Listen, I'm going to do a whole nother thing coming up in the next day or so on Florida and the foolishness that's happening in Florida. So let's put a pin in that. That's going to be a separate conversation, but it proves my point that state legislatures matter. You should be talking to your state legislators right now. By the way, hint, hint, many of them are also up for election. So this is the time to be asking them the questions. Where do you stand on voting rights? How are you making sure that these redistricting plans are not being used and gone awry? This is getting wild out here. But guess what? The people who are in charge of the laws, we put in office, and they're up for election right now. So let's use this time to do something magical and to let them know that we mean business. Okay, that's number 2. Focus on your state. Number 3, big number 3, become a circle leader. You all may not know this, but we know it. I want to make sure that you do not leave here not knowing it. But Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote, in partnership with the Black Women's Leadership Collective and 11 other national women's organizations, are focused on ensuring that Black people vote. And we have launched last week 1 million Black voters rising. And this is something that every single person can be a part of. Every single person can be a part of this, led by Black women, but is really reaching out to our entire community. Go on 1millionblackvotersrising.org right now and sign up to be a circle leader. Let me be really clear. This is not the time to stand as an individual. This is a collective moment. We need every single person engaged. As a circle leader, we are encouraging you to create your own community. This isn't about having one conversation to get to say, hey, get registered to vote. No, this is about building community and having a conversation about how you register to vote, how you get information about what's going on, how you understand how the agenda impacts your life, and how you vote your interests. This is not just about a one-time singular thing. We are building community, and building community means building power. This is your open invitation to become a circle leader. I see Jacqueline has joined us. Thank you, Jacqueline, for hanging in there with me. Listen, this is our opportunity to change history. And we're not just doing it for 2026, y'all, because we're going to continue to have these issues. We're here for 2026. We're here for 2027. And don't even, and they ain't going to be ready for us in 2028, because we're going to be organized. We're going to be powerful. We're going to be ready to go. So I expect all of you all who are listening, help me build these circle leaders. I'm looking for at least 1,000 Black women to join me and become a circle leader. This requires all of us. And the great thing about building community is that now we have so many ways to build community. Some of you may choose to build community amongst family members. Some of you will choose to build community amongst maybe young people. Some of you will choose to build community around friends, maybe line sisters. Maybe you'll build community amongst people who you share an interest with, like a book club. However you build community is all right with us, but build community. We're not doing this alone. And each of these individual communities that we build, we're going to link them all together so that we are one big community, 1 million voters rising and strong. Okay, that's number 3. We're wrapping up here, but here's number 4. Demand action from Congress. Do not let Congress off the hook. Let's be clear. The courts made this decision, but Congress can undo it. Call your congressional member, contact them, and demand that they restore Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. And start this week. Again, many of them, especially our congressional members, are up for re-election right now this year. Find out where they stand and make sure that they know where you stand. All right, I said I wasn't going to be long, and I'm not, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. This has been, I just wanted to do a quick 10, 15 minutes. We're wrapping up on 15 minutes now. Please go to our website, sistersleadsistersvote.org, for more information. In the next coming days, I'm also going to be talking about Florida. I want to use Florida kind of as a case study. We can do this. We did it in Virginia last week. We have to continue to fight back, but this is still a democracy, and we are not going down without a fight. And again, I want to remind you, you guys check the record for yourself. We've done this before, And we did it with a lot less money, a lot less organization, a lot less infrastructure, a lot less people organized and in part of groups and organizations. And so, listen, everybody can get involved and everybody can do their part. I know I'm in the right place and I know I'm doing the right thing because my mom just logged on. So, in the words of my mother, I'm going to say she has always been a fighter for all the things. She has always been a fighter for voting rights. She has worked and voted in every single election. So shout out to my mom, Dr. Gail Holliday. Shout out to some of my roots, Kansas City, Missouri, and Freedom Incorporated, for also being an organization that is involved in every single election. And I would just want to end with this. Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote has taken on a new task this year, and it is about manifesting. And so not only are we going to do the work, we're going to manifest our outcomes. And so today's mission is ordering our thoughts. Our affirmation for today is, my mind becomes clearer when I slow down. Democracy works best when people believe their participation matters. That's the quote for the day. Democracy works best when people believe that their participation matters. That comes from our very own PD Talley, who's one of my board members. She's also a fantastic advocate in the state of Ohio, leading the Ohio Unity Coalition. Shout out to Chantel for having the foresight to create our Manifest 2026. That's it for me. We will be leaning into this very heavily. So follow us on social, check out our website. We're at Sisters Lead on social. And just know that you are not alone, that we are in this together, that we've done this before. We've done this before. We have the blueprint, we have the organization, and we have the people power to make it happen. The only thing stopping us is us. So come on, let's change some laws around here. Until we do this again, which will be soon, we're signing out for now.